Hello and welcome to yet another interesting tutorial on the MIT App Inventor, and this is presented to you by the KAWA Uganda team. We are still continuing with unpacking and understanding the different components that make up our designer, and in today's tutorial we'll be understanding the sensor palette and the different components that fall under the sensor palette. And by you understanding this, you'll be positioned to find the different components that allow your app to tap into the various hardware sensors available on the user's Android device. So when you're looking at the sensor components, we have a variety of them. We have the accelerometer sensor, the barcode scanner, the barometer, and so many other ones that will be important to as well unpack and understand in today's presentation. So when you are going straight away to the very first one, that is the accelerometer sensor, we realize that this one is one of our non-visible component, and it helps us measure the acceleration forces acting on the device along the three physical axes. We have the axis of X, Y, and the axis of Z. You can easily use this to detect the device movement, for example, the tilting, the shaking, or even any sudden changes in the motion. Now, you can think of it when you're working on the different apps that can easily respond, or the different apps, for example, the games that can respond to tilting. Like some of us play games, the racing games that you just have to tilt the screen of your Android device to be positioned to dodge maybe the cars, dodge the motorcycles, and the rest of the things that you can think of. So this is all being done by this accelerator, the accelerometer sensor. When you include it into your design, you can as well be in position to work on that. We now have the next one, which is the barcode scanner. Now the barcode scanner is also another non-visible component, and you including the barcode scanner into your app can help you easily to be positioned to scan the barcodes and the QR codes using the device camera. And when you have this component activated, it opens a scanning interface, and once that code is being successfully scanned, it provides you with the encoded what? Provides you with the encoded text. It is very, very useful, and it's very practical in the different products that we buy. Some products have those QR codes, so instead of you going the long way, you can just develop your simple app that incorporates this technology, that you can scan something and the QR code can be copied directly. Now we have the next one, which is the barometer. Now, as the name suggests, the barometer is soft. This one helps to measure the atmospheric pressure. You can use this data for so many other things, the weather related applications. So if you're developing an app that prompts you to work on weather and the rest, you can be in position to include the barometer as one of your components that you have to put into consideration. This one works on the different locations and the rest. Then we have the clock. You can drag it to your viewer, and also it's a non-visible component that can be in position to work on events at regular intervals. It allows you to perform actions repeatedly, and all the actions while you're working on them on your phone. For example, updating an animation, checking for the data changes, or even scheduling the different tasks. Those are all done by the clock. Now we have the next one, which is the gyroscope sensor. Now this one is more of the same as the accelerometer sensor, so that this one is just a little different from it. That this one, it provides the more precise and more accurate detection for the different rotations. It is more important and more useful than the accelerometer sensor if you're trying to compare these two, because this one is more precise and is often used for more advanced motion tracking in the different games, and also for stabilizing the camera views. We have talked about this. We now have the gyrometer we can look at this one as the sensor that can be in position to measure the relative humidity of the ambient air. This one can be in position to as well help you, a user, to be in position to easily measure and work on the different weather apps or anything that is related to environmental monitoring. We have the light sensor. It's as well a non-visible component, and this light sensor measures the ambient light. It just measures and works on light that you can easily be in position to automatically adjust the screen brightness on your screen by you using the light sensor component. For example, you can be on this, then you set your phone to automatically switch on the night mode, or you just adjust its light to low light. Now we have another one, which is the location sensor. So anything that you're working on that prompts you or requires you to work on location, you can put into consideration the location sensor, because it's a powerful sensor that provides information about the device geographical location. It works on GPS and also with the Wi-Fi and also with cellular networks to determine the location of the different places. It's also essential. This location sensor is also essential for the mapping apps, the apps that require mapping, apps that are going to be basing on location services. Or in case you want to tag locations, you can incorporate the component of the location sensor into your app. So we also have another one, which is the magnetic field sensor, a non-visible component that will easily help you to measure the magnetic fields in the 3 different physical axes, the ones that we mentioned above. It can also help you, these magnetic field sensors can still help you to be in position to detect the presence of the nearby magnets. So if you're developing an app on working on magnetic fields and the rest for the physicians, you can think of the magnetic field sensor to be incorporated into your app, then work on that component to develop what you want, because it gives the orientation that is relative to the Earth magnetic north, and it's often easier when you're using it for the different orientations. We have the near field. Now, for the near field, this one works on the different components of the NFC capabilities, and if you incorporate it into your app, it gives you the NFC capabilities in your app in a way of allowing the different short-range wireless communication between the different devices. This near field is commonly used in things that are contactless. In other words, the things that are within the same range. For example, the contactless payments, if you want to read the NFC tags, or in the pairing of devices, you can use the component of the near field. Then we have our next component of the orientation sensor. Now for the orientation, if you want to work on anything of changing the orientation of the screen, you can think of the orientation sensor as one of the components you can include into your app, so that it can be in position to help you in controlling game elements based on how the user wants the orientation to be. Sometimes when you're watching movies, we prefer using landscape because you want it to come out in a broad format. So working on orientation, you just set your app to be in position to automatically detect the orientation. If it is portrait or the rest, you can just set that, and all this can be important for your app. Then we have the pedometer. The pedometer, this one is also another component that is designed to specifically count the number of steps that someone takes. For example, those people who are working on the fitness and the rest, you can include the pedometer into your app. Now we have the proximity. From its name, proximity, this one helps to detect the presence of objects that are near. For example, if you have ever thought of how phones can automatically switch off when you're making a call, when you extend it next to your ear, this is the component that those phones have to be in position to get you all that. Then our very last one is the thermometer, and this one, from its name, it generates and helps you to be in position to measure temperatures of the different devices that are surrounding. And similar to the other ones that we say, the hygrometer, it also works on the different components or the different things that you want to work around the environment. So that is that about the sensor components. That is that about today's tutorial. You can as well work on designing and giving the different instructions to your blocks here on the block section. Then this is where you have to work everything out. So that is that about today. Thank you for being part of this show.